Hey, good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Outlook and discussion for Thursday, June the 6th, 2019. Not a lot on today's plate to talk about. The Atlantic all the way over to the Central Pacific, nice and quiet. Nothing in the Eastern Pacific either. Back to the Atlantic tab there, no tropical cyclone activity expected over the next 48 hours. And indeed, it'll be a lot longer than that in all likelihood. As we can see, this beautiful wide shot of the Saharan air layer analysis from the University of Wisconsin. You can see this large area of stable, dry air. Not a lot of African dust necessarily, but definitely a large, dry air mass overall. Not very dusty. It's not like it's, you look at this and you say, man, look at all that red out there and those oranges and some pinks. It's definitely a lot of dry air. But we're not seeing one of those massive dust outbreaks, and why would we? It's been pretty wet across the Sahel of Africa, and we've talked about that a little bit. Probably a positive factor for enhancing this year's hurricane season. Positive only in that it will enhance hurricanes. If you don't like hurricanes, and I can understand why you wouldn't, it's not necessarily good news. But this right here, keeping everything in check, and it's what we would expect to see this time of the hurricane season here in early June, and so it's really not a surprise. Farther to the west, the Caribbean and into the Gulf of Mexico with just one little area here that's kind of drier, if you want to call it that. Not as much Saharan air layer influence. All right, looking at the satellite image, this is a nice loop from the GO 16. And you can see, there's definitely a little bit of dust out here. You can see that just in the satellite imagery. But overall, it's just this dry, stable air, and you can see that with all that low-level little cumulus field, stratocumulus field over the Atlantic there. And then you've got these high-level winds streaming out of the Pacific all the way across the main development region over the Caribbean islands, not going to allow anything to develop. This is a curious little area. Kind of surprised a little bit that the National Hurricane Center hasn't mentioned it. No big deal, though, but it's out there for shipping interest to keep an eye on. Just a disturbed area up in the subtropics. Also, a very common thing to have this time of year where water temperatures are warm and you get these little disturbances that try to close off and become more tropical looking overall, especially as the season progresses and the water temperatures get warmer and the latent heat starts to really build in the tropics and spreading north into the subtropics. Here is our storm system, partially the 91L energy, that Central American gyre that tried to spin up and then it's made its way up through this way into the deep south, portions of the Mississippi Valley and elsewhere. Very stormy overall pattern. Rainfall, a lot of rainfall. We've talked about this a lot. I'm not going to hammer on it as hard today. Hopefully I've made my point that it's going to be a rainy few days, and in fact we can see that in the GFS here, the 12Z run from today. There's that pinwheeling of the upper level energy down to the mid levels as that cutoff low slowly migrates to the east here over the next week to 10 days. Stormy with it. Anytime you see those green blobs, that's energy in the atmosphere. That's certainly one way to look at it. And that moves on off the coast. There's that system out there that's headed up towards Bermuda. Kind of interesting looking, not very well organized, but the vorticity maximum definitely shows up there, that energy trying to be bundled. In fact, let's just stop this and go to the first frame. You see it a little bit reflected right there. That, my friends, is that, let's get the tabs to work again. Come on. Thank you. Is this area right here. All right, so that's what that is. This is the satellite picture in the real world, and this is what it looks like in the modeling world. It shows up there well to the south of Bermuda, which is right there. So it might try to develop a little bit. You see a little bit of organization with it in the vorticity field. Not anything spectacular, certainly nothing to really worry about, and maybe it'll bring some rainfall. That fresh water definitely needed to keep the water supply intact for places like Bermuda. The same is true Down here in the Caribbean islands, Trinidad, Tobago, up through Barbados, and the Windward Islands, the Leeward Islands, through the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, St. Bart's, etc. No tropical waves moving through right now that I can pick out. You see the trade winds are pretty brisk, straight east to west. Not too strong. You can see there's only 5 to 10 knots at best out here. That's what those wind barbs show. And even in the Caribbean Sea, not that strong overall. We don't see them raging through there. But, limited moisture overall. We'll go back to the satellite picture. You see, again, just high clouds streaming across. No organized tropical waves, kind of suppressed down here because of this very stable air mass. All right. So we move out of sort of news of the day, if you will. Again, there's really not much to talk about. So we'll talk about this. The Tracking the Hurricanes documentary. I've done these going all the way back to 2004. There's a few years there where I skipped from 08. No, I did 08. So I didn't have one in 09, 010, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever. I finally made one again in 2016. And I went back and picked up all the seasons from 2009 through 2015. Those are searchable. Everything through 2017, I think, is searchable on YouTube. I don't know if 2017 is. Maybe I should make it. I know it's on Amazon Prime. If you're a Prime member, you can watch it for free. Anyhow, back to this. The 2018 version is spectacular. And it is. And, I'm going to brag about it because I'm very proud of it. And I'm also proud to be able to show it to some folks on the big screen at no cost to them. The Boggs Law Group in St. Petersburg, Florida, sponsoring this event, as they did the one in Wilmington. It cost anywhere from $1,700 to $3,100, depending on travel and converting the file into something they can show in a movie theater. It's around $3,000 to do it properly and show it at a real movie theater. You can go and show it on a projector at an auditorium somewhere where a computer plays it, and that's one thing. But a real theater where they show blockbuster movies like, Godzilla and Toy Story getting ready to come out and the Avengers, that's the same exact digital cinema projection system that is showing this film. And it cost about $1,600 to convert it. I'm not kidding. That's a real thing. But if you want to show it in the movie theater, that's what you have to do. And so really, really appreciate the Boggs Law Group supporting both the Wilmington event, which we had on May 30th, and the Tallahassee event coming up here next Wednesday. Right there, you can see that. Next Wednesday, June the 12th, at the Regal Stadium 12 in Tallahassee. It's the only Regal Cinemas in Tallahassee. Regal Stadium 12, 7 p.m., You don't need tickets. You don't call and, hey, you just come to the box office, come to the theater. We will have a couple of people there starting around 6:30 to help you find the theater. It's an Auditorium 10. And just look for the guys wearing the HurricaneTrack shirts. We'll have a poster. You just come in the front door, and we'll have somebody there with the people that take your tickets or scan your Regal app or whatever. We'll have somebody there. We're going to take care of you. We'll make it easy for you. Now, it's limited to the first 100, 105 people, something like that, that show up. And we have about 30 to 35 people that we know of that are coming now that we're already assigning seats for, friends, VIP guests, etc. So there's about 70 free tickets available, if you will, free seats, that are available. So if you're coming, make sure you get there around 6:30, and we'll make sure you have a place to sit. And I'll do an introduction right at 7 p.m. real quick. Hey, I'm Mark Sudduth, and here's the film and what it's all about, and then we'll roll it. It's about an hour and 46 minutes long, and you will be absolutely amazed, especially and obviously at that background image back there, Hurricane Michael. See that right back there? Hurricane Michael, the sequence from Mexico Beach. Absolutely incredible. So I'm very proud and honored to be able to display this on the big screen. What a testament to two distinct hurricanes from last year. Also, this is now available as a title to rent right there, $3.99 or purchase for $12.99. Yes, it is a fundraising event. It's a great film. It really is. The feedback from people has been phenomenal, and I appreciate that, but it also will help with future funding. I wish I could give it away for free. If we had like a major underwriter, we could have done that. I approached a few people. They weren't interested. Hey, you know what? That's fine. That's what crowdfunding is for. And this is a great way to crowdfund a project. I give you something in return for your hard-earned money that you pay to watch this, whether it's a rental or a purchase. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's on Amazon Prime Video, and it's also available through YouTube and PayPal. You just go to this page here at HurricaneTrack.com/2018, and you have the little page here that introduces it. And at the bottom there's a buy now. This is where you go to YouTube or to PayPal, and I send it to you via a link on YouTube. So you buy it on YouTube, and it's a little bit more expensive on YouTube. It's $14.99 there through PayPal because PayPal takes a bigger cut, and then whatever. It's just the way it is. And like I said, it's a fundraiser. Still half the cost of a DVD. DVDs are like $30 to get them all printed up, to get the packaging, and to ship them is like $6.50 just to ship them. You can't put them in some dinky. I don't even do DVDs anymore. Who has a DVD player? I mean, I might. So it's all digital. So there you go. All right, Amazon or HurricaneTrack.com/2018, and you can go to PayPal, and I'll send you the link to the YouTube version. And real quick, going to remind you of this often on Patreon. This is growing more and more, and it's a great way to do something a little different. And it supports creators, and I guess I'm a creator, right? We create this content. So it's a subscription model, but it allows me to really interact back with you all and post stuff in a blog and kind of social media format that we're all familiar with at a different level of support, from $1 to $100 a month, anywhere in between. Pretty cool. It's kind of like public radio version of supporting somebody that does like what I do. And the Levi Cowan, his site, Tropical Tidbits, he's on Patreon. The Weather Nerds site also, and there are others. I noticed a couple of Tornado Chasers. I think they're on Patreon as well. So a pretty big platform for video creators, podcast providers, animators, authors, artists, things like that. And it's done well for me and what I'm trying to accomplish. So I invite you to take part in that. All right, try to wrap it up here again. Pretty short and sweet overall. Not a lot going on, as we would expect in June. And you bet if there is something, we'll be on top of it. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, or Thursday. It's Thursday, Mark. A great rest of your Wednesday was yesterday. A great rest of your Thursday. I am Mark Sutter. Thank you, as always, for watching on the other side of the screen, from your side, right? We'll talk again sometime tomorrow.